So I'm going to talk very briefly about sort of the technical aspects of what we did, and neither Wagner or I are nearly as advanced computer geeks like you guys are with web scraping. I don't do that. But anyway, so this is what you're looking at is a complaint to the Federal Trade Commission. We use the Federal Freedom of Information Act to request the complaint data on the credit reporting agencies. And specifically, we were looking at complaints where people were making allegations of wrongdoing of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the federal law that governs credit reports. So we asked for them to send us the information in electronic form, preferably something that would be compatible with Microsoft Office or Microsoft Access. What we received were scanned in PDFs, which is the bane of existence for every single journalist in the whole wide world. So I tried to OCR them, and then I dumped them up into a program called Document Cloud to see if I could get them text searchable at all. And the short answer is no. In some cases they could, but in some cases they couldn't. So basically what we were left with was, stacks and stacks of electronic pieces of paper. And we would go through these I just want to scroll. We would go through each of these and, pick out what we wanted, like what state the complaint was from and the various different pieces of information. And then we would read the narratives. In some cases, like here, they were very brief. This was somebody that could not get her credit report. So on our spreadsheet, this person from Utah would be marked as. So we would have to, painstakingly go through each one of these and read what they had to say. Some of them were in Spanish, and neither Wags or I are fluent. So we had some bilingual reporters in the newsroom help us out. Like this one, you can see that the narrative is pretty detailed. Some of them weren't. So I just wanted to give you a sense of what we had, what we were looking at to create data. Now let's just briefly take a look at the Excel spreadsheet. So for creating data for file sharing purposes, Excel is much more forgiving and helpful than trying to use other kinds of programs like Access. The copy down feature of Excel is really helpful or intuitive, knowing that we're typing Washington, so we're not typing Washington 27,000 times. We assigned each record a unique case number in a location, so we could easily go back and find that if we needed to, because in some cases we wanted to use the narratives in their narrative form in the newspaper, so we needed to know where to go to get those. Where do I scroll across?
Down or?
No, I wanted to go. Oh yeah, just go down there. Okay, sorry. Yep, got it. Let me go back up to the header row. So as I said, we created sort of a unique case number so we could find it, and then things that were important for us to count, like when, what year did this happen, and where did the person live. We really were hoping that we could pull more demographic information out of it, in terms of like their ages and things like that. But those fields were largely blank, so we couldn't use that to draw any sort of conclusions at all because there was too many that were blank. The company that they were complaining about And then these were our just yes and no fields of what was the problem, what was the issue. And so we created, these, and we would just go through and hit yes, 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 or whatever the case may be. And each complaint could have more than one issue. They could, I have an error, I can't get through to anybody, and, whatever. So there's all these different fields that we tracked. And then for our purposes, we would identify whether it was a good case or not. If this was something that we wanted to go back and potentially expand upon, if it was something that we wanted to use in a story beyond just a flat number. And then we always take, have a notes field where we're just like to kind of signal to us like, oh yeah, this is something that we're super interested in, and this was why. I did a little bit of analysis in Excel to add up like how many credit reporting agencies were they complaining about each complaint. So like down here, whatever this complaint was, all three, they had a problem with all three of the credit reporting agencies. And then we also wanted to know, were they complaining about some technical glitch? They couldn't get their credit reports, they couldn't get somebody on the phone, those kinds of things. Or were they complaining about something of substance, related to their either their demographic information or their account information, which for our purposes were the same, because like we said, the credit reporting agencies didn't see names misspelling as a big deal. We, on the other hand, did. And then how many different issues were they complaining about? In this case, this person here had 3 different problems or questions or concerns with their credit reporting. And then another kind of important field for us was the subject matter about something in the public record, meaning like a bankruptcy or a foreclosure or a judgment or things like that, because that for us was going to be a separate story that we were exploring. This process took us about 2 months to go through all of those records and document all of that. And then once we had this, then that's when we took it and moved it into Excel or into Access and SPSS and did, the further analysis of, how many people with mixed files. We did a lot of cross tabulations and all of those kinds of different things to come up with our analysis. So that's kind of the quick and dirty on how we did it.